You're listening to the ANC podcast, the biggest podcast ever. It's your boy Franco Varga, Big Papi, the biggest wrestler ever. Don't miss another episode of the ANC podcast.
Woo, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the ANC podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Campbell. And in the house today, we have ECW Original Chili Willie.
Yo, what's happening, everybody? What's happening?
And our special guest today, he is the biggest wrestler ever. Mr. Franco Varga.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No doubt.
Hey, you got it
Yes,
right.
sir.
You got it right.
Yes, sir.
I think you're, one out of 10,000 podcasts I've ever gotten right. So thank you. Appreciate that.
No, that's not Big. That's Big Papi. Big Papi.
Chili Willie's been around my entire career, so he knows.
Big Papi. You know
Big
what I
Papi.
mean?
That's right.
Woo. Franco,
One of the busiest men on the indies right now, folks. If you didn't know, you just check out on your social media. You will see Franco Varga
everywhere.
Everywhere.
That's right. I just tried. That's the guy. Just another guy in spandex. But no,
Franco, where did that nickname come from? The biggest wrestler ever.
So honestly, it's something that I in Canada, I was on tour 30 days straight with my mentor, one of the people I like. Just say oof. Like, I mean, everybody wants to be a wrestler, and so they got to do wrestler things like go on tours. Right.
Exactly.
But yeah, you're wrestling 30 days straight. I was in the car with one of the people I just need in my life, really, Ron Simmons. And it's something that he kind of helped me come up with. It's just like everything I hated about wrestling, I turned into one character, and that was the biggest wrestler ever. It's like the delusional giant, the guy who just the guy who's got to throw everything in everyone's face. That's just what the character is. I know a lot of people meet me and they're like, wait a minute, you're like nothing like this character in person in real life. Like, yeah, it's called storytelling.
No doubt. Psychology.
Yeah.
Psychology and gimmicks, whatever word you want to use for it. So that's Ron Simmons is one of the guys that helped me, or the guy that helped me with that, the biggest wrestler ever. And it's just it's just my personal way of giving it back to the business. All the things I don't like, I just put it in one character.
Nice,
man, nice.
But I know Chili Willie's original. The gimmick that he loved is the Big Papi gimmick, which is the big ladies man gimmick. So yeah, that was Big Papi for years. So
wow.
Yeah.
How long have you been in the business?
Almost 9 years now. Yeah.
Wow. Nice.
How'd you start out? Who taught you? Who's your trainer, your mentor, and all that good stuff?
Yeah. So originally, I started in Colorado. 6 months there, and then there's this, not so known. I don't know. You may know him, but Gerald Briscoe. I wrestled.
Okay.
I wrestled in front of Gerald Briscoe, and he got me sent to Puerto Rico. And I got to work with Carlos. Colon, the Colon family, and that's kind of who I attribute to my career as everything I know, like a lot of things I know from my career. And then after that, I just been on the road with some legendary guys that are, just here and over there. They're still out there. They're still working. Too Cold Scorpio taught me a lot, things like that. Just, I've already been told, like, especially the Colon family, like, you're gonna learn a lot on the road. So the more you stay on the road, the more you learn. So like things like going and working for All Japan and working for Preston City Wrestling in the UK and going to Australia and going to all these places, like you just never stop learning. And that's kind of what, I think I know a lot of people say, like, I learned it from the streets. I feel like I've been on these streets for a while learning. So
nice.
Yeah, and that's something I always tell young guys. It's like, just where you start should never be where you finish. And you see that where a lot of people feel like, well, this is my training school. I need to be the best guy here. Like, no, this is just where you started. Go out there, get that experience.
Right. Right. Yes, sir. Who were your favorite wrestlers growing up, Franco?
Of course, Chili Willy. I mean,
no doubt.
No, but in all seriousness, and I know I did your the retirement thing for you.
Yes, thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
No, I appreciate it. You know, as a veteran, you did something that I think, you know, and a lot of people know this. You joined because of 9/11. Right. I couldn't join. I was too young, but I for the same reason joined the Air Force. If you can call that a branch of service, I don't know.
Oh, but, what? Yeah. Hey, we grunt, because I'm a grunt, 11 Bravo.
I know.
We grunt, man. We praise the Air Force. Let me tell you something.
Oh,
America would not be America without the Air Force.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling them. They don't listen.
Telling you.
But no, that was something that I hold, you know, near and dear. Like, you gave up a lot, you know, for service, and I did that in the beginning of my life, really, like fresh out of high school. Nice. You know, jumped into service and all that. So that's something that I highly, highly, highly respected you for, especially, you know, stealing cable to watch ECW and stuff like that as a kid. I mean, my parents are cheap as hell, you know. so stealing cable to watch pay-per-view, ECW pay-per-views, you know, of course that's. But yeah, no, Chili's definitely one of my like inspirations, and I feel like we have a lot in common. That's why I did the whole retirement thing for you a couple years ago.
I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate your service.
Hey, you know, I just, like I said, it's like you said, it's America wouldn't be America without just everyone's, you know, service, everyone's sacrifices and things like that. But I guess the original question, you know, Vader was big. You know, my career, a lot of people can see the comparisons in my entrance music to the big Van Vader music, which is it's time is Vader time. The biggest wrestler ever. Before the music starts, that's kind of a inspiration to that. And then, you know, I was big on Bret Hart. And then, of course, Razor Ramon is another big influence. And then meeting him in person was also like another sit down and write everything he says, because it was actually pretty flattering for him to like the gimmick and like the things that I was doing. So kind of like a reassurance of like, hey, you're on the right path.
Mm-hmm. That's nice, man. That's awesome.
I got a question for you. So Franco, I mean, who's like, I know you travel a lot, you do a lot. You on the road probably 3 or 4 days out of the week, but who would probably be one of your favorite wrestlers that you like to work with?
Oh, like currently out there. I mean, I think Carlito is another. Anytime we get to work, he's one of this. I think we don't even talk. We really just kind of say hi, and then we'll see you out there. That's how that's kind of like how I like to, you know, work. There's a few guys out there like that. James Johnson in the Carolinas, you know, he's just a hell of a worker. You know, and on overseas, I mean, there's guys like there's guys like Sheik El Sham in London. I mean, the entire England scene, the guy's is good. He's one of those guys that he plays a chic gimmick, you know, so he easily makes me the good guy. And he's just one of those guys that are always in the pocket, you know. I mean, guys that understand, you know, the promo is everything. Like I just worked with Arrow Boy from Mexico. And we just looked at each other because the semi-main event wasn't so great. So we just looked at each other and we looked at the promoter and said, hey, give Franco the mic. And without even speaking about it, we knew like, okay, we got to get these people back. And we like, that's my job. I got to be the bad guy. I got to be the guy who's, but it's just chemistry. Chemistry is everything. So like things like that, where it's just like, you know, hey, give this dude the mic. I'm just like, yeah, like, sure, I'll take care of it. So it's like little things like that. I always tell people like this, the moves don't mean anything if the things you do to set them up don't make sense. So
there you go.
Yes,
so a move that we do 15 minutes into the match, if I set that up on the microphone 15 minutes before and it happens, it's pretty Shakespearean. You know, people love that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But what a thought, storytelling.
Yeah.
Right?
Speaking of your favorite opponents, who's your dream opponent?
Oh boy, for my grandmother, if Carlos would, knock off the rust and actually I'd wrestle Carlos.
Nice.
If I could wrestle Carlos, of course, I've had my dream matchup. One of another mentor of mine, I've actually wrestled 5 times now, Tony Atlas.
Come on, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So me and Tony hit another guy that just super inspirational to me. Especially when I started to become like pretty bitter in the business, like year 3, 4, like a lot of guys do.
Mm-hmm.
Tony was the guy who kind of grabbed me and said, "Hey, this is how things go, and it's a long road, there's not a short road. It's you're here for a long time. Make it a good time." That's the stuff that he says.
Yeah.
So so that he's another one that like, just for me to wrestle him and let alone just learn from him. He's another guy that just long history of just being in the ring with really good guys. So for me to be on that list and for me to be one of his favorite guys, it's just like
Awesome.
It's a dream come true to me. I grew up watching Tony, Tito Santana, guys like that, like just that I've been able to work with. Greg the Hammer Valentine, the Powers of Pain, guys like being able to work with those guys. I'm just like, wow, like 8-year-old Franco's like losing his mind. And on the outside, I'm trying to keep it all together. Oh yeah,
right.
Okay, I'll see you in the ring, man. But 8-year-old Franco's losing his mind. Like, oh my god.
I'm the same way, But you said by year 3, you're kind of had a bitter taste in your mouth, like a lot of wrestlers do, probably because they don't eat or whatever. Talk to us about what it takes to keep your mind positive, and stay focused. Even if you don't get that call, even if you don't get that dark match, even if but you don't get a lot of calls in wrestling. But how do you keep yourself relevant? How do you stay positive so that maybe down in the future it would happen? But if it don't happen, then you can still say you had a great career, you enjoyed it. But how do you keep that mindset? How do you keep it together?
I mean, for me, it was kind of the opposite of how it happens for a lot of guys. I got a lot of opportunities my first year, and I didn't blow them, but at the time I wasn't ready. So, and looking back, I'm glad, just because of how things are working out and turning out for me. But no, a lot of guys, 3-4 years, they don't. No one ever teaches you to be happy for others, and that's kind of the big downslide for a lot of guys mentally. It's just they start to see other people in those spots that they may or may not deserve, or they may or may not have trained for, they may or may not this. Like, who's to say? I mean, there's no criteria to being a wrestler. There's no like boxes to check. One guy may be good at this, but not good at that. There's so many different aspects of, things. So yeah, year 3 or 4, I had a lot of opportunities my first year, and then year 3 or 4, I set a ridiculous goal for myself, which is I wanted to only rely on wrestling as an income. And that's when I was getting really furious, like seeing guys like the Cole Cabanas and all the guys of the world at the time that were making a serious living just wrestling. And I just wasn't one of those guys in America. Now, I was making a ton of money overseas, but I'd have to be gone away from my family, and a newish kid. Now he's like 9 going on 30, but but to me, he was like a newish child to me. So like, I'm just like, I got to be a dad and this, and I just can't be gone for 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. I gotta, what's the, where's the disconnect? Like, why are these dudes doing all these flips to make, all this money, and I'm having great matches, but I can't make a living doing this? And it's not, you're on the outside looking in, because you go back and you talk to those guys when you meet them. Hey man, congrats, you were killing it back in the day. Oh, I was broke as hell. And you're like, really? Oh,
yeah, for sure. You're talking to one of them.
I talk to a bunch of those guys. I'm actually friends with a lot of those guys, and they'll tell me like, oh my god, I was so happy when I got released. I was like, wow, or recently, so I just spoke to someone who got released, and they were just like, hey, I've been asking for like 2 years to get released. Finally got released. Now I'm gonna hit the indies to make this money. I'm like, wow, you know. So like being on the and I say this now like with the experiences, like being on the contract doesn't mean happy, and being independent doesn't mean broke.
Thank you.
And I'm making some of the best money I've ever made in wrestling, and I have a pretty loyal fan base. And I've grown within myself and within the rules that I've set for myself, which it's not, I don't have this, you know, with millions and millions of dollars comes hundreds and hundreds of people trying to control that money. Right. So like, you can have it, you know, I've made it very public. Like I'm not looking to sign anywhere. I'm having just the time of my life. I don't want or need for anything. I do a lot of Make-A-Wish stuff on my own, stuff like that. So I don't really need the I don't really need the 4 a.m. gas station stop. Hey man, I see you on TV. I'm okay. Oh yeah, it happens on occasion, yes. But I feel for those guys when they're just at an airport trying to make their connection, and 100 fans are like, "Yo, picture." And I just walk by like, and I, you know, and I'm like, cool. Being on the Indies is great. At some points, you know. Overseas, I get that same thing where it's just like, I think I spoke to you about this where I went to Australia and there was like a meet and greet line, and there was like 112 people, something like that, crazy in the line, and I had to look behind me. I'm like, this is for me. Yeah, this is for me. You know, and I sat there and the promoter's like, hey, hurry up. Like, you can't have a full conversation with everybody in the line. I'm like, I'm sorry. These people, like, this is surreal to me. Like, they came here to meet me. Yeah. It's insane, you know? But these guys are on Fan Fest and all this other stuff, and they're just like robots. Like, yeah, sign. I don't want that for my career, you know? Okay. So I want to have fun. I want to meet the people. I want to be able to spend time with the people, and I want to, you know, intimacy. Freedom. You know, freedom. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what it is. Definitely want the freedom. I want to be able to say, I'm not going to work this Saturday. I'd rather go, you know, do whatever, add an extra workout day to the week or something. That's right. I don't think I'm going to work that Saturday, you know? They can't, you know? So.
Right.
That's right, my man. What promotion would you eventually like to go to or work for?
You know, I mean, I honestly am more wanting to be the guy who helps grow something into something, and then kind of, so like XWW in Charlotte, they got TV, they have pay-per-views, they have you know, we're doing a big stadium show tomorrow. Actually, I better go to bed and get my rest for that. But yeah, big stadium show tomorrow, and I'm here. You know, I got brought in the building stages. You know, so in 5-7 years from now, XWW is another major player in the business. I'd rather that for my career. Say, yeah, I was there when it was building, and I was an original, and I helped them become something that they are today, versus just being another guy on something that's already established.
I feel you. Yes, sir. Is the first time ever events, is that your promotion?
So, you know, it's not a promotion. Okay. So it's, but yeah, it's Franco Varga's first time ever. So their first time ever events featuring first time ever matchups. The entire card is all first time ever matchups. So it's like a cool thing for the fans. It's really just the fans in mind. The fans basically booked the card for us. So yeah, it's a lot of pressure because it's an internet show. Really, it's not, you're not gonna see. It's gonna be pretty much an intimate setting all the time. It's gonna be like maybe less than 200 fans. We try to keep it down, but it's really filmed for the internet in mind and those worldwide fans. I think our first one, it was like 400 and something internet buys in like 20 different countries. Wow. So yeah. Sure. So I mean, I had a lot of my Japanese fans bought it and stayed up and watched it live, and you know, a lot of the fans in England bought it, and you know, stuff like that. Nice. So like, that's my thing is I want to be able, for lack of better terms, put the team on my back, right? And say, yeah, I've wrestled in 6 different countries. True, but if I can get 3-4 other guys to wrestle in all those countries as well, then the shows did their job, you know?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Andrew. My question is, now you're a bigger guy. You're probably one of the, like, you're the biggest. You're a big guy. How hard, how difficult is it for you to go in the ring and wrestle with guys that are 5, 6, 170 pounds? I mean, we know what wrestling is. We know we
Right,
have
of
to
course.
adjust. We know we have to adjust. But are you seeing? Is there a trend where you seeing more of smaller guys that you're wrestling versus
Yeah.
your size? And then if
Yeah.
it is, how do you adapt to that, man?
So yeah, absolutely. I see. I'm 6 foot, and I'm considered tall. And it's the business is changing. I mean, I think the business changes every 5 years. I'm 270 pounds. I'm considered the big guy, where 10, 15 years ago, I'd be a small guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the business is definitely changing, but I feel like the stories never do, and the formula never does. So I think you gotta and my personal experience is this: you meet up with a guy, and sometimes they want to wrestle like it's just another match for them, and you gotta have to remind them that, hey, I don't look like the guys you tend to wrestle. So you don't want the fans getting in the car and scratching their heads saying, wait a minute, what did I just watch? You know what I mean? So my job is to make them look good. Hopefully they seem to feel the same way. And then I just try to make the story the priority 100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's got to be a reason why this person wins over everything, which is the story. The story is, how do we get to the end of the story? So we have to consistently be in the pocket with the story the entire time. There can't be, and that's why a lot of people say, like, oh, Varga's gonna tell you an entire story in the ring, and it might not be a 10-star match, but it'll definitely be something exciting. I take pride in that. Yeah. It's not really old school or anything like that. I think, and I don't like the terms old school or Memphis style or all these other stuff. Like, wrestling is wrestling. Either it's good or it's bad. That's it. So you can do all the flips, you can do all the stuff, you can do all the cool stuff, you can do the big power stuff, but where does it fit into the story you're trying to tell? Yeah. And that's my number one priority. I could be wrestling a George South, set almost 60 something years old, and make that make sense, where no matter who wins, it's a good story. I could be wrestling a 120-pound kid, 18 years old, something like that. No matter who wins, as long as the story's good. I think we have to quality control our careers at a certain point, and we have to say, okay, I'll make sure myself that there will never be a bad Franco Varga match out there. So that's kind of what, if I'm meeting you for the first time or we're working for the 10th time, that's my main concern. Is, one, I won't have a bad match. Two, the fans are going to go home happy. It may not be what you thought coming here, what you're going to have match wise, but sometimes I'm going to say it, slow down and sell more.
Definitely. True.
My first couple of years in the business, I'm like, slow down, sell more. What are you talking about? That's what everybody says. Like, it's just a can thing. No, it's true. It's true. It's true.
Yep.
Yes, sir. How do you view today's wrestling? Do you think that they need to slow down more?
It depends on which product you're talking about. Right. So like, if you're talking about the TV product, and then there's a vast just and comparing them, like the NXT, a great product. You can tell they're working with some true pros that are slowing them down, and some of the best selling on TV. I mean, I think they sell better than they actually sell the story better than some of the main products, does, like the Raw and the SmackDowns. And then yeah, the guys who need to slow down. And I could tell you right now, I'm zero interest in is the AEW stuff. I'm glad that a lot of the guys find another place to work, and a lot of more contracts out there and things like that. But I just feel like, what does it do to wrestling as a whole? You know what I mean?
Right.
What happens when there's another WCW situation, and then now everybody remembers the Attitude Era and how great it was, and all this competition and all that. But right after WCW, there was a huge low in the business, because it was kind of a lot of the lost respect and a lot of lost interest from the fans. So do we go back to that? Because that affects me. You know, even on the indies, it affects me. A lot of guys from TV come back down to the indies, and that affects me. So, like, I'd rather them stay in business and do all that. That's not what I'm saying. I just rather them be a better product.
Okay.
I feel you.
All right.
Yes, sir.
If you gonna get signed and go up there, stay up there. You know what I'm saying?
But now, what if they come knocking on your door? What if they say, you need Big Papi to go up against guys like Lance Archer and, you know, those big guys like that, you know? We need
on a limited basis, I do it. Yeah, like, but it'd have to be I'm here for 3 months to work with Lance Archer or Brian Cage, or, you know, but I wouldn't sign like anything long term just because lost in the shuffle is definitely a term that I hear a lot, you know. So
okay.
But it'd have to be like a limited thing.
They do have a lot of shows that I can't even keep up with. You know what I mean? It's like, what's Dynamite this, Dynamite that, Dynamite, you know, not knocking it. I like, you know, but it is good, like you said, for the wrestlers, for the workers that need work, you know what I mean? Because, you know, there's only a limited time on television and there's that many people, you know, so you have to, only the cream of the crop is going to stand out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you got to put your shit in. Your shit better be good. You know what I mean? If you want to stay on television.
That's the thing. And I think you said like the cream of the crop. Some of the really good guys don't sign. You know, some of the really good guys happen. Like I know a couple of the top 50 guys. You know, they're just like, oh yeah, I'm glad these people are signing. So there's more. We can start asking for more money on independent shows. You know, because that's how it works too. It all comes in waves.
Nice. That's true.
Would you see yourself more on like a AEW Dark, whereas like on one time and then you can go back to the indies?
No, I think that actually hurts more than it does help. You know, you gotta think about it like this. Like and Chili knows this as well. Like you wrestle, most guys wrestle like in one area primarily. And let's say you're the man in that area. You're the man in Boston or whatever, right? And you go on national TV and you get you can't control it, so you get a 40-second match. What does that say about Boston as a whole? You know what I mean?
Good. Right.
So like a lot of people don't think about it that way, and they stop and they only think about themselves, and it's like it kind of hurt. You kind of hurt a bunch of guys, and kind of hurt like yourself in a way, just because. Yeah, I mean, they didn't want to give you 40 seconds, but this commercial went long, or you got more sponsors than you thought, so you got to put more commercial time in. There's a lot, you know. When I was with Ohio Valley Wrestling, same thing. Big India versus Puerto Rico matches, myself and Mahabali Shira. They were promoting it for weeks, and then if the match finally happens, the match before us went long, the match before that one went long, and we went from having 12 minutes to being told 8 minutes to getting in the ring and being told 3 minutes because of commercial time.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're like, oh, we'll make it. Yeah. So that's TV. That's TV. You know, they're live on TV. So it's just like, what are you gonna do? You know.
Right.
We still got to the important parts of the match in 3 minutes. I'm still happy with it. He was happy with it. Al Snow was happy with it. But at the end of the day, the only people who got robbed there in that situation were the fans. You know.
Yeah.
And we just hyped it up for all this for what? It felt like we stole. You know.
Yeah. Man.
You know, and I felt like a used car salesman because I'm like, oh, this is gonna be great, and then it's not. So it's a rushed version of what could have been very good, you know.
Yeah,
man,
that's what a lot of people, a lot of youngsters that's coming up in wrestling, they don't really understand that. They think that they got to get all this shit in, you know. And I tell them here, you can't get it all. Even if you're on the indies and you're not on television time, there's still a time limit because people, you're killing the audience. You know what I mean? You're killing them. You know, and so if you go 15, 20 minutes in your first match. Yo, seriously? I'm whooping I'm beating up the damn promoter ass. I'm beating up everybody because you don't need to go 15 minutes the first match. I mean, 5 to 3, 4 minutes. That's good. That's intro included. You got to save everything for the fucking main event. That's what people come to see is the main event. So if your mom is out there, your girlfriend out there, your boyfriend out there, hey, when you go out there, how you doing? Whatever, do your thing. for 3-4 minutes in the match. That's it. It's done. Let's go. You know, it's not about you. It's about the company. You know, in the store. You know, so yeah, you're right. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, I've been on shows where my mom. I think it was myself. Gosh, I forget who it was, but my mom was in the crowd. And I was a semi-main event, and I was just like, man, I want to do so much. So, you know, but at the end of the day, I'm like, oop, check yourself, you know, because it's just another match. So you gotta, you know, every card, the good ones at least, should be built around the first match should be the hot match, a hot start, and then everything else should be built riding up to the main event.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's kind of one of those situations where they get excited, is whatever reason, you know, a guy in a Barney suit, something, right? Anything. Anything. Crazy. There's a ton of different excuses why they went long. I'm happy with give you a hot 6 to 8, you know, as long as it's a great ride. Hot, you know, the entire time, you got the crowd the entire time. Yeah. Man, you know how many times, Chili, you've seen me do this. I've seen you do it. You know how many times we get told 12 to 15, and then you got the crowd in 8, and you're like, yeah, let's just take it home. And you go home with a hot 10 minutes, and the crowd's like, oh my God, let me buy all your pictures. You're the man. It's quality over quantity. 100%.
Yes, right. Sir. Yes, sir. Franco, what is next for you?
Man, I mean, I'm heavily invested in this XWW company. You know, first time ever.
Who owns that? I'm sorry, who owns that? Who's the owner of the XWW?
Yeah. Manny Mac. He's like Charlotte-based, super good guy. Definitely knows his stuff. They film this. They're on Spectrum TV in the Carolinas. Wow. So they film all the time. It's maybe like 50% of my time right now. So, and then of course the first time ever events, we're already on number 3. It's just fun. It's just like, we just got the show bought by Fight. So we'll be on Fight from now on, exclusively on Fight. American Lucha Wrestling, like they recently had myself and Trey Miguel, myself and Madman Fulton. Mm-hmm. So they, you know, I'm the big baby face there. And then I got some stuff overseas. I'm doing the Slam Stars tour finally in Japan in July.
Nice.
Okay. So that'll be my big return. I'm going to do Preston City Wrestling in September. I'll be at the 10-year anniversary show and another crack at the Road to Glory. So I'll be one of the few Americans again in the Road to Glory. And then we have first time ever England, which is another way of me using my connections in the business and popularity overseas to help a lot of new American debuts over there. And that's it, man. I'm just busy man. And I've seen Chili do this as well. I open up quarter by quarter my schedule. So I don't take a year's worth of booking January 1st. I've always thought that was crazy. That's something I learned from Chili, guys like Chili. So I haven't taken anything past August. So I can't tell you what I'm doing past August. And it works out. It's a smart way to book yourself.
Nice.
Good shit, man.
If I'm not mistaken, you do have a t-shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees, right?
I do have a store, ProWrestlingTees.com. Nice. I will have a store on Wrestle Merch Central. That's the overseas store. This first time ever has its own limited edition T-shirts and posters and things like that.
Nice.
Definitely check it out. Merchandise, FrancoVarga.com takes you to everything. I even have a TikTok now. I can't believe it, but yeah.
What? You everywhere, Frank.
I even got a TikTok.
You everywhere, brother. You everywhere. That's good shit, man. I'm glad to see.
What's the rest of your social media?
So on everything is at Franco Wrestles, Franco Wrestles. Okay. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of it. So.
Nice, man. Nice.
Okay. Good shit.
Well, Franco, me and Chili want to say thank you for taking the time out of your day to come out and be in our podcast. Me and him really both enjoyed talking to you, man.
Absolutely. I have a question for Chili. I do have a question.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
So now, because I don't know if you remember the question I asked you when you were retiring, and I did the retirement stuff for you. So now, am I respected enough to go blonde and take the gift?
Oh yeah, you should have been blonde years ago, bro.
Is my stock high enough to be blonde now to do the chili Franco? Is that what it is?
Oh shit! Hey, I got my
chili
blonde.
Poppy, that's the one.
Let me tell you, I got my blonde from Butch Reed, man. God bless his soul. You know what I mean? So when he went blonde, I said I don't want to go blonde. You know what I mean? And then And then at the time I was going blonde, I saw Ernest and Cat Miller going blonde. I was like, he's on television. I was like, oh shit, he stole my shit. You know what I mean? But it's all good. You go blonde. You do it. If you go blonde, man, that'd be awesome.
You heard it here first. Exclusive. I'll be going blonde with permission from the original blonde to me.
Awesome, man.
Yes, sir.
Awesome,
yes, sir.
Love you, brother, man. You be safe, man.
Me and Chili want to know if you can cut us a little promo shout out for the ANC podcast real quick.
Yeah, for sure. You're listening to the ANC podcast, the biggest podcast ever. It's your boy Franco Varga, Big Papi, the biggest wrestler ever. Don't miss another episode of the ANC podcast.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Woo!
Fucking hot, man. That's good shit, man. That's good.